Welcome to another Rebel walkthrough. I'm back at it with Dragon Dogma 2. I do want to say thanks for tuning in. Appreciate love and support. All the members of the Rebel family, appreciate you guys. Yeah, let's get into it. So I am finally in Vermund.
Pray forgive me, I'm in a bit of a hurry.
Consign it! Get back here!
Seems like this kid's in trouble.
You there! Did you see an urchin in a cap run past just now? Can you tell me which way he went?
Look at him standing right behind me. You serious? I'm gonna lie. It's more beneficial to do that in the long run. So it's the best option to choose.
Many thanks. I'll catch that wretch yet.
You're a kind one, aren't you? 'Twould seem I am in your debt. In fact, there's aught I would ask of you if you've the time to spare.
Aha! There you are!
Oh, apologies, but our chat will have to wait. Till next we meet. Farewell.
'Tis good to be reunited.
All right. So I'll hear back from that guy at some point, I'm pretty sure.
An ox cart ought to make our journey easier. Walking everywhere is certainly tiring.
I like how my pawns just seek out things to do. All right, so let's walk around here for a little bit. I'm going to show you guys a couple of things in this particular village. First things first, there is a seeker's coin right here.
Ah, now here's
Pretty
a
easy to
supply.
miss.
A splendid discovery. Interesting. I shall have to inform my own master of this.
And let's get this chest over here. Seems like my mission is over here as well, but it's more so for the nighttime. I'm supposed to meet up with the captain in the tavern. I'll do that once night falls. For now, let's see if we can get some gear. This is a good place to upgrade your stuff.
I've all manner of arms for sale. Come, have yourself a look.
Let's see, how much is it gonna cost me? It shouldn't cost me too much. Nice. Get a really good sword for a lower price. So I'm gonna capitalize on that now. Upgrade my sword and upgrade the staff that my pawn is using. I also want to upgrade my gear quite a bit, so what I'm actually going to do is upgrade my pawn stuff a little bit later. For now, I'm going to try to focus on my gear. Alright, do buy a shield. Let me check out how much
Let us use it well, that it might prove a worthy
the
investment.
armor is going to cost me.
Welcome to Bjorn's Armory. And quality's what you need if you want to survive. So before you check the price, just remember, misers die early deaths.
So some of this armor, if you could tell, has a red mark under the name. It just means that you aren't in the proper vocation to use that specific armor. Things that I prioritize are high defense and the knockdown res. Oh, it's nice. It's just way too expensive. Some of this stuff you could just find by walking around the world as well, so that's a bit too expensive. So right now I'm just gonna get this And let's see if I can afford anything for my pawn at the moment. Doesn't quite seem like I have enough. When you're buying gear, you only want to focus on getting gear for your main pawn. The other two, you'll probably end up swapping out anyway. And all of that stuff is only going to go to the person who created that pawn. It's not something that you're really going to benefit from unless you take it back. Which I'm not 100% sure if you can do. So I can afford this, but it is gonna make it hard to get any weapons for her. So I think I might prioritize the weapons instead. And now I can sell a lot of this stuff. Even though it might be beneficial to sell a lot of this stuff elsewhere, but for right now I'm just gonna make do with what I got.
Hope to see you again.
All right, now let's check back in with this guy. So I'm just short of being able to afford this. It's all right. I'll cheap out and get this. And just short of affording this. All right, gotta play the cheat card for right now. All right, so we do have a few new things I was able to afford just by my journey. So now might be a good time to upgrade my crew. It's only one pawn that I really want to change, and that's the level 10 knight. Well, level 10 fighter, I should say. I want to upgrade to a higher level fighter, not one that's going to require any RC. This one looks like she has potential. Let's see, she's simple, has a bunch of moves, doesn't have any pawn quests or anything like that, which is fine. I don't necessarily need her to have anything.
I've a knack for gathering items and am ever on the hunt for new finds. I'll gladly try out any useful mechanisms I espy.
Let's add her to the favorites and let's add her to the team. This is where my mission is going to be, but it's something I have to wait till nighttime to do.
Hail, friend. Have you a spare moment? I've an eye for people, and my instincts tell me you're of trustworthy ilk. I'm in a bit of a quandary, you see. I'm to be gone for a week, with no one slated to mind the house in my stead. Fear not, I only ask your name to list as a tenant. You needn't bother yourself with the cleaning, and I don't expect you to stay cooped up in there neither. I'd be much obliged if you'd simply consider my home a waypoint on your travels. Sound appealing? Then come on by and have a look-see. I've taken the liberty of marking the location on your map.
All right, so that I'm going to check out right now.
I believe I know whom we must see. Certainly, Master. I can take you to this individual.
It's not that far.
We're here, Master.
You've come. Glad to see you, friend. So, what say you? Would you care to live here in my absence? As I've said, you needn't worry about tending to the place.
So this, gladly accept the mission.
Many thanks, friend. I knew I could count on you. I'll stop by again in a week's time, but till then, farewell.
Nice. So she pretty much just gives me a home. Very beneficial.
We will find much better rest in an abode than out in the elements, methinks. Let us make good use of it while we
This
can.
way I don't
You have my
actually
support.
need to use the inn. I could just come here, I could deposit all my things in here. And I also could get rest in here. See, my inventory was starting to get a bit full, so you can see I was at the average territory, picking up way too much weight. Thin that down, try to get it as light as possible. He doesn't need to get rid of anything either. One piece of meat for the crew is good, and everything else looks fine. I did put one of my notes in there that I need. All right, back in the light territory. When I'm ready to rest, I can sleep. I'm good for right now. What I will do is mark
Can't wait for the new equipment coming.
all right, it's almost nighttime on its own, so I don't actually have to rest. Looks like the sun is gonna go down pretty soon. There is one other thing that you can do over here as well.
Now there's a worthy prize. If only 'tweren't so far away.
And there's the inn upstairs, which I no longer need since I was able to accept that home. And right here, you can also change your vocation. Feel free to pause if you want to read this stuff.
Greetings. Welcome to the Guild Hall. Here we conduct all manner of procedures pertaining to vocations. If there is aught I may assist you with, simply say the word.
All right. So I can give him all of my secret tokens. I actually put all the secret tokens in my chest. So I'll get that at another time. But when you add those, they do give you rewards for collecting them. Right now I have enough for a fairy stone just by giving them 1. 5 will give me this ring, and so on and so forth. Feel free to pause it if you want to see the different rewards that you can get from acquiring those secret coins. So there's 220 coins in total. If you get all of them, you get this ring. To the vocations, this is how much discipline points I have. It looks like 2 new vocation classes I was able to at least view or preview. I haven't been able to unlock it as of yet, but we'll get to that in just a moment. And these are the new skills that I have just from playing with this vocation and leveling it up. I'm going to upgrade this move that I already use, and let's see if I can add some new moves to my arsenal. More of a distraction. This one's a springboard. It can throw people up. Very good support move to have in your bag of tricks. And this is just a way of guarding pretty much. So the moves I'm gonna go with are the more aggressive ones. I'm gonna go with this one, and I'm gonna go with this one. I'm also gonna upgrade my core skills at least as much as possible. And do have a new augment, but this one increases the likelihood of being targeted by foes. Not one of my favorites, so I'm in no rush to really get this. You also can upgrade the vocation and weapon skills for your pawn. I haven't done this just yet, but I'm gonna do it now. Actually we'll upgrade that, and I'll go through each one just so you can see the different moves, but there's already a few that I already know I'm gonna equip. So these pretty much just give you the elemental ability. She's most likely going to cast this on me. So if I want the elemental ability of fire on my sword while I'm swinging, it does help and it does go a long way. It also gives her the ability to shoot fire with her magic. Same thing for ice and the same thing for lightning. It's pretty effective. It does come in handy. Gives both you and it gives both me and her the ability to use this element. It does come in handy when you're going up against different enemies because they do have elemental damages that makes it easier to take them out. So it is something that is of value, but I'm just not going to use as of right now. This gives additional speed. So I'm going to get this one. This one is extremely valuable to me because it does allow you to heal from different ailments. If you're concussed, if you're on fire, whatever the case may be, this is one of the healing elements that come in handy. And I'm going to give her the frost ability. Allows her to be very effective in combat. So she has fire, lightning, ice, and multiple healing skills. Very, very, very effective for her. And I'm going to get all of these things. That way she could levitate. She double taps X. Also will have the ability to cast her spells a lot faster. And of course, regular focus bolt. All pretty good to me. And she does also have these augments. This one is really good to me. And this one I could get at a later time to increase our magic defense. But all right, so that is pretty much what it is when it comes to the vocations, increasing both me and her. And the other two, they're not necessarily my pawns to control.
Forgive me, but I'm afraid we are not accepting registration for warriors or sorcerers at this time. You see, as we currently have no archer staves or greatswords on hand, we are unable to outfit new members. And we cannot simply purchase more, as the delivery of arms intended for the local armory and other guilds in this domain was plundered by goblins. So regrettably, I cannot assist you, unless you were to procure a weapon yourself, that is. Let me see. What else can I tell you of our guild?
All right, so if I want to unlock the warrior or the sorceress class, I pretty much just have to bring him the weapons necessary to do it. Those, you can either find it or you can buy it from the right vendor. We'll see which path I cross first, but I'll try to show you exactly what you need to do in order to acquire the weapons necessary to unlock those classes.
Methinks Roderick will be able to tell you aught of the stolen shipment. He runs the local armory, and we purchase almost all of our stock from him. May fortune smile upon you, sir.
Whence might we procure such a thing?
So it looks like I would have to talk to Roderick, who we just spoke to, in order to get our weapons and gear. So we could tackle that in just a moment. Actually, I might tackle that now. So this is instant transportation. You do need a fairy stone to be able to do it, but once you do have a fairy stone anywhere on the map that you're currently located, you can use that fairy stone in order to fast travel back to this location. This is one of the port crystals that's in the game. There's other ones in the game as well. There's only two that I know of, but there's other means of fast transportation as well. So once we cross that path, I'll explain a little bit more in regards to that, but to avoid any further spoilers, I'll hold off on that for right now. There is one more thing I wanted to do before I continue the mission. That was to talk to Roderick. So let's do that now, just to get a little bit more information about the warrior and sorceress class.
This part's a little different as well.
Hoi, friend. Klaus sent word that you've agreed to rescue some of my pilfered equipment. I'd be grateful for aught you can reclaim, truly. Fair warning. Goblins are behind these ox cart raids, I've since learned. No doubt they're hoarding the stolen arms in their den. From the tell of it, their lair lies somewhere along the western road. Pray do be careful. If aught were to go awry, 'twould weigh heavily on my heart. Losing my wares for good would make me sore, but no sack of gold could compare to a fellow life, eh?
All right, and I could talk to this guy as well. He does give me let's just talk to him.
Oh, yes? I possess no ill intent, I assure you. I merely wished for a closer look at these bows. Those of other races differ so in design from our own, you see. I cannot deny I am curious about them. That's all 'tis, mind, curiosity. I have no desire to actually own one of these contraptions myself, and even if I did, it isn't as if I could purchase one. It would be unseemly for an elf to aspire to such a thing. No matter how they fascinate me, it isn't to be.
So with him, I just have to acquire a bow. So I'll get to that at some point as well. For now, I don't have a bow, so let's keep it moving. Once I do get my hands on a bow that I can give away, I'll be able to come back and talk to him. But for now, let's keep it moving with the main story. See if we can find the captain at the tavern. Make it happen.
Your Majesty, your timing is impeccable. I just thought to call for you. 'Tis not a matter for prying ears. Pray, let us speak out here. As I informed you when last we spoke, the palace is filled with the Queen Regent's sycophants. Should Disa denounce your Majesty as a false arisen, few would elect to doubt her. Yet if we are to prove your identity, I believe there is no occasion more suitable than the coronation. It was delayed so that the Sovereign, that is, the false arisen, could convalesce in the palace, but the date has now been set. The central players in the court ought all be in attendance. 'Twould be a fine opportunity to display your Majesty's power. None would be able to deny that you are the true Arisen then. There is a problem, however. Entry to such an event is limited to the chosen few. Only select members of the nobility and citizens who have contributed greatly to Vermund's continued prosperity will be granted entry. If your majesty is to be counted among them, you will need to attend to a number of tasks. Pray, allow me to summarize them for you.
Alright, so we do have a list to get to. Might as well go through all of them while you're here.
The citizenry have called upon my soldiers to cull monsters that plague the land. I dare say, 'twould be a fine contribution were you to accomplish these tasks unaided. What say you? Might I ask for your cooperation in this matter? I thank you, Your Majesty. There are 3 locales that have seen significant trouble of late. The first is Trevo Mine, to the northwest. We've had reports of goblins swarming in great numbers. Next is Half Village, west of Vermund. I believe soldiers have already been dispatched to cull an infestation of saurians there. Finally, there is a call for someone to locate a group of soldiers tasked with delivering freight. They were last seen crossing the second bridge on the eastern edge of Vermund.
We have been charged with the felling of monsters. There is surely no challenge to which we cannot rise.
Alright. As I'm here, I'm going to talk to him.
Mine is but a stone's throw from here. Then follow me. I'll lead the way.
Before I do that.
There is much we ought to tend to if we are to strengthen your majesty's claim as a true Arisen.
So, you're better off talking to him now and getting all of the missions out of him at one time. Instead of just doing it one by one and going back and forth. You may actually be able to knock out multiple birds with one stone before you have to report back to him.
You will need to infiltrate the palace to gather evidence of Disa's misdeeds. I hesitate to ask something so dangerous of you, yet I fear we have few other options. I have attempted to do the same through my own channels afore now, though I have yet to uncover so much as a whisper of her plots. Would that I could undertake the task myself, but my station prohibits me from reckless action. What say you, Your Majesty? Might I ask this task of you? I shall ensure that the door to the Queen Regent's office is open between midnight and dawn. Pray use that time to conduct your investigation. Of all those who serve the Queen Regent, there is but one who I have no doubt will lend his support to Your Majesty's cause. I refer to Waldar, a magistrate. Many a time has Disa demanded Waldar amend the code of Vermund to her own benefit. And many a time has the magistrate refused her, for he is loyal to none but the spirit of the law. As a result, he now sits in a cell beneath the palace. Our laws dictate that Your Majesty is our rightful ruler. Thus, as the staunchest supporter of the law known to the palace, I'm quite confident that Waldor will be willing to vouch for Your Majesty. What say you? Might you be willing to aid me in arranging the magistrate's release? I've prepared a means for you to enter the palace dungeons. Pray, take this. This mission demands the utmost secrecy. Prithee be cautious, Your Majesty. Should you be discovered, I will be unable to lend aught in the way of aid.
Would you mind coming over here?
Alright. So it looks like we have a few missions to get into. I know my pawn is already ready to get them all done since I did all this stuff beforehand. But let's prioritize the right quest first. Since I'm already here, I might as well do the ones that I can do that's located in this area. The monster culling is a little bit of a trip. and it does have multiple steps to it. So before I did this and the Vocation Frustration, since they're all in the same area, I'll tackle the stuff that I can do in Vermund first. So let's do Disa's plot first, and then I'll tackle Cage Magistrate.
Shall we make for Vernworth Palace?
In the capital, my pawns can't follow me, so it's going to be a solo trip once I get there.
There are useful ingredients to be gathered here, I'll wager.
Shall we see if there's aught to be found while we're here? Here we are.
If you must...
Alright, so this area is pretty much off limits, especially at night. During the day, I could walk around here all willy-nilly, but at night, not so much. And this area is also off limits to all of my pawns, and I do have to be dressed appropriately if I'm going to attend the masquerade that they have in this location as well. So all things that I'll keep in mind, because they do come in handy in the future.
Go off on your own. There's naught to be done.
You are the Arisen, yes? The captain gave me your description. Follow me!
These guys tend to not bother me too much, which is kind of interesting. For an area that's actually restricted, is kind of interesting that they don't really bother me.
Tis best you move along. Should one of the other guards espy you, I will be forced to play my part. Pray, be cautious, Your Majesty.
Alright. Once the music changes, that means I'm in dangerous territory, so I gotta be careful. Right here, they do have some armor. So this stuff, I mean, it's good camouflage in my opinion. So it's the only reason why I'm going to equip it. I feel like I blend in pretty good right now. Probably could take my shield off, but it's not that serious. All right, let's see if we can gather all the information that I need.
I'd sooner stay out of that were it possible. Tis our duty to see this peace protected.
This sort of quiet means all's well.
Let's see if I could blend in pretty well. Nice. Looks like the coast is clear.
Who's there? Pray, keep your voice low. 'Twouldn't be good for either of us if someone was summoned to come check on me. Could it be that you have come to bring Mother's schemes to light? Aye, Disa is my mother. Pray forgive me for not telling you sooner. 'Twas never my intent to deceive you. I simply feared that if I spoke the truth, none would wish to involve themselves with me. But that is no longer a concern. 'Tis clear that we are allied in purpose. My word! You mean to say that you are the true Arisen? That the Sovereign currently residing in the palace is a pretender? Could Mother have had a hand in that as well?
Regent King Sven appears to be missing from his chambers. Have you seen him?
Me? No, sir.
Then start searching, you fool. Should aught befall the Regent Kin, 'tis us who'll answer to her grace.
Forgive me. My absence seems to have made this rather more difficult for us. You ought leave the palace at once. This room turned up little of interest, but I've a mind to look into this further. I shall send word to Captain Brant if I discover aught you should know. I'll head out first and speak with the Sentinels. Use that opportunity to make good your escape.
Sven, where have you been?
All right, so now's my chance to get out of here.
Stroll might clear my head.
We have arrived.
There is much we ought to tend to, if we are to strengthen your How fared your mission? Was there aught suspicious to be found in the Queen Regent's office? This scrap. 'Twas part of a letter, and from Batal no less. This alone can prove little, but 'tis clear that Disa's schemes run deep. To think, Disa's actions have weighed even on the mind of her own son. 'Tis a surprise, but a welcome one. Disa is the doting mother before the Regent King. If Regent King Sven is willing to aid us by drawing Disa's focus, we may be able to gain more useful information. You have done well, Your Majesty. Though I am limited in the aid I'm able to offer, I bid you, take this.
What could the Queen Regent be plotting? I'm not sure what we're dealing with here.
Queen Regent Disa appears to be working in concert with this Phases fellow. But what precisely is their aim?
All right, so the next one is also in the palace. I could have done both at the same time, but we're gonna do the second one in another video instead of cramming it all into one. So yeah, I'll be back with that next part pretty soon. I do want to say thanks for tuning in. Appreciate love and support. All the members of the Rope family, appreciate you guys. All of the new subscribers, welcome to the channel. Appreciate you as well. Yeah, I'll be back with another part to the walkthrough pretty soon. Till then, it is Rebel Leo, and I am out, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.